I think we should discuss a little more about how they got to that point on this particular set, or at least from what we can glean from what's been reported thus far. And it sounds a lot like it perhaps had to do with budget constraints and rushing production.
This is a $6 million movie. Mm-hmm. So how much more would it have cost to hire someone with a little bit more experience and to make sure that they had prop guns instead of real guns?
Right.
Not much,
Yeah, presumably it's not
minor budgetary change to the cost of a life lost, and it's, pretty foolish.
Yeah, absolutely. But it sounds like this production, I mean, obviously they hired a green armorer. Right. We know that much. Well, they hired, now she had, her father had worked in the industry, but this was only her
father,
second.
Thel Reed, is a real mensch and knows his stuff and has been doing this forever and has a perfect safety record.
Mm-hmm. Well, perhaps he should have also been hired alongside her.
He should have been there. Honestly, I mean, everyone has to start somewhere in the business, right?
Sure.
We all have our first gig, but you should have the first time that you have all the responsibility should be after you've apprenticed under somebody for several years who's really taught you the ropes properly. And, that they know that you know what you're doing when you take that first job. Yeah.
And then, I guess alongside that, so, in your experience, from what I've heard reported, there's a possibility that maybe she was the only one on set who had the responsibility for the guns, and maybe there's some suggestion that there should have been she should have had assistant or something like that involved. What does that look like normally?
She should have had an assistant. More likely, she should have had a supervisor. Someone who'd been doing it a lot longer than she had, and she could have been the assistant. But someone there who's watching every step of what happens, making sure that she understands the rules, and make sure that she's comfortable enforcing them. If you get a newbie on set, they're kind of timid and they're just so happy to have the job. And then you have some kind of a bully AD, like, come on, let's go. Let's get those guns over here. I got to get this shot. I got 6 more minutes of light. What are you holding me up for? And it's like, hey, wait a minute, dude. Okay. Copernicus could have predicted 400 years ago what time sunset was going to be tonight. If you didn't account for that, that's your problem. I'm not going to rush the safety process here. I'm not going to endanger anyone. And if you feel that way, maybe you're the one who shouldn't be working here.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot, it takes some balls to talk back to an AD like that when you're afraid that you're going to get fired and they're just going to bring in somebody else.
Yeah, and you see that all over the place, right? In accidents, when accidents happen, whether it's with guns or even something like airplane crashes, right? I watch a lot of
space shuttle, right? How many people knew that there was something wrong with the O-rings, and nobody said anything, and then they send it up and it blows up in their face and people die.
Right.
And so I remember has an obligation, to speak up for safety. Yeah. If anyone doesn't think that something is safe, they have a right to raise their hand and, get that concern voiced and addressed.
Yeah, I remember one plane crash where the pilot and the assistant pilot, there's two pilots, but one was more experienced than the other. And the less experienced one noticed something was wrong, but didn't assertively speak up because the more experienced pilot said that it wasn't a problem. And then the plane ended up crashing and everyone died. Yeah. But that sort of dynamic is a problem.
Yeah. No, intimidation through seniority, is no way to promote safety.
Now, what about this report that the assistant director is the one who gave Baldwin the gun and told him it was cold? Is it unusual that the assistant director would be the one handing the gun to an actor and not the armorer themselves? How does that?
It is unusual. Only, the more people you put between the gun and the actor, the less responsibility, and the more fragmented chain of safety you get. Only the armorer should have loaded that gun. And Alex should have been told, if anyone hands you the gun, that's not the armorer, don't take it.
Yeah.
I tell actors that don't take the gun from anyone but me, because I have properly checked it and I know what I'm doing. And not only do I know what I'm doing, but I've made sure that you know what you're doing, right? I know that you know not to take that gun and do anything with it until we've made sure of its condition. And if we're not sure if it's dummies or live rounds in there, then we're just going to take a moment We're going to unload the 6 cylinders. It's going to be done in 6 seconds. We're going to check those rounds. We're going to shake them. We're going to reload. Oh boy, we cost the production company 30 seconds, but we saved someone's life.